Hi, my name's Ian. What you're about to see is an idiot's guide to adventure motorcycling. Sit back and enjoy the ride. I'm on a little trip myself, and hopefully as I go down and do my journey I'll do a little bit of filming and put it together into a little bit of video. I don't want to come across as if I know what I'm talking about. I know as much as anybody else. I'm just having a go and doing a bit of filming. If you know it all, if you've seen it all before, and if it's not appropriate, then it's not appropriate. If you manage to get some parts of interest, some little bits and tips out of it, all the better. Fundamentally, you just need to get out there. Choice of motorcycle. You can ride whatever you want. Let me give you some examples. We've got Ed Marsh, who rides around on a C90 and puts amazing videos on the internet. We've got Lois Price on her 225 Yamaha. At the other end, obviously, we've got Charlie and Ewan on their monstrous Bavarian BMW GS's. We've got currently Bruce Smart, who's riding around on a Suzuki GSX sports bike. You can ride whatever you want, it really doesn't matter. Let me introduce you to my bike. It's behind me. I'm riding a 1977 Kawasaki Z650. I've had it for over 20 years, I've restored it. It's my bike, it's the bike I'm using. It's not the world's most comfortable, but it's my bike, it makes me smile. Camping. I rather like camping. It's rather a pure thing to do. These days I quite like a big tent. I quite like a bit of space. Particular tent I've got with me this time, it's called a 2XL, 2 times extra large presumably. Almost 50% of it is for storage, and almost 50% of it's for sleeping. In the sleeping part you can also sit up in it. The other half is just a storage space, particularly if the weather's not so good. It's an absolute godsend to have somewhere to put your stuff. The only problem with these tents is they have these flexible poles. The flexible poles snap. Just a quick word about sleeping mats, sleeping arrangements and things of that nature. I've got my trusty sleeping bag. If you spend your life sleeping in a king-size bed with a big duvet, a sleeping bag's never big enough. They're always horrible, they're always restrictive. I've succumbed to one of these padded self-inflating mats. As you get older, you just don't want to be sleeping on bumpy, rocky, cold, horrible ground. If I was to get another one, I'd get a bigger one. You just can't have it big enough, but it's an absolute godsend. The other thing I've succumbed to, and I know it's sad, is an inflatable pillow, and then I get a good night's sleep. On my current trip, I've been up to John O'Groats. Very light until late in the evening, and conversely it's very light early in the morning. I bought myself a little tiny eye shade. It's absolutely smashing. I can't fault it. It means I get an extra prep 2 hours sleep. I've tried the earplugs, but they just don't suit me the same. On the long rail round with Charlie and Ewan, I seem to remember one of the lads talking about their piss pot. Something for the night, in the middle of the night when you really cannot be bothered to get out of bed. It's actually not a bad idea. There's mine. Seats. I was chatting to somebody on the way down and they were talking about a bloke they met. Apparently the first thing he does when he goes to a campsite is asks if he can borrow a chair for the evening. This is my seat, that's what I've got. But again, even that, which folds away absolutely tiny and weighs nothing, even that makes a difference. Thing to consider, seats. I'm in the Scottish Highlands. As a result, I'm expecting rain, I'm expecting damp grass. I bought myself a little camping stool. It's absolutely smashing. It stows away perfectly on the bike. At the end of the day, I can sit down, relax and take a seat. Top tip, get yourself a little tiny camping stool. I'm going to think about how you find information. how you find ideas, how you find stimulus, how you find out how it should be done. Obviously there's the internet, there's a million books, websites, magazines, but there's also meetings. I'm here at the Hub meeting, Horizons Unlimited website. It's an amazing opportunity to get resources, to get information, to meet people, to listen to the speakers, to have a look at the trade stands, to buy some books, to buy some clothing, tools, equipment, accessories. I can't recommend it enough. Here we go, the Hub meeting, absolutely phenomenal. When you're on a trip, I think you just need to set yourself a destination. You need to set yourself some goals, you need to set yourself some waypoints. Currently, I'm in Andorra. This is one of my waypoints. Yesterday I drove 430 miles. To be fair, it was really hard work. Today, I've just driven up the mountain into Andorra, and it all seems worthwhile. Andorra, what a disappointment. The approach road was beautiful, and then it all went downhill. N260. Oh look at this sidecar. And again you missed the sidecar. So this is going to be good, hopefully. So this is northern Spain in the Pyrenees. If you go on the biker forums, you'll find it. It's the N260. I'm looking forward to this one, and hopefully it'll be so much better than wretched Andorra. N260 sat in the back of a car. I can only assume this is what it does to young children. This, to me, looks like a young child's breakfast. Thank God I'm on a motorbike. This isn't supposed to be a travel documentary, but here we are. We're still on the N260. The kilometre marker here says 487. I've ridden it for best part of a day, leisurely admittedly, but it really is a nice road. It really is to be recommended. In this sunshine, it's absolutely glorious. Screens. I've put a screen on my bike. Obviously my bike didn't come with a screen. Here's my cheeky little screen. As you can see, I've put reflective yellow tape all over mine. The screen obviously has lots of uses. Firstly, as I've just explained, the idea that I've got reflective yellow and therefore it offers me visibility. It also offers me a tiny bit of protection against the weather and the elements. It does give me the opportunity to mount my sat-nav on the screen. There we go. This means that the sat-nav is exactly where I want it. It's right in my line of view. I'm not having to crick my neck. I'm not having to bend over to see my sat-nav. My sat-nav is there just above the clocks, and I just peer above it at the road. I glance down and the sat-nav is right in my line of view. What it's also, some of you might have noticed, what it also does is give me the opportunity to put some wretched directional arrows. That arrow there is telling me to go to the right-hand side of the road. Okay, luggage. There's often a debate about luggage, whether to use hard luggage, whether to use soft luggage. The rules are, as far as I'm aware, to try and keep the weight inside the bike. Try and keep the weight towards the middle of the bike as possible. Don't put your heavy items out here. Put your heavy items as low as possible and as central as possible. I've got all my valuables in my tank bag, all my electronics, all my documents. I can take my documents, I can lock them away in my tank bag, and it gives me a tiny bit of security. this arrangement works for this bike, for me, on this trip. It doesn't mean it's right, it doesn't mean it's wrong, but there is mine. Valuables, heavier items, tent, bedroll, sleeping bag, sandals. I've probably got too much stuff, but that's life. Quick thought about tank bags. In my tank bag, I keep all my valuables. I keep my passport, I keep my wallet, I keep my video camera. The reason being is, if I'm riding along, it's always in front of me. When I go into a petrol station, I take all my valuables with me. So that is a good tip, a small tank bag, all your valuables, all in one place.
We do have a spare pair of keys, but that's beside the point. Yes, we've lost the keys. He's just walking over now from his key hunt. I wonder if he's actually found it.
The solution is, I now wear a keychain. So I think a road trip needs a focal point. It needs an end point. You need to actually get to somewhere that's tangible. If we look at the poster, Fiesta de la Estella, most of you will have heard of the bull run in Pamplona, San Fermin. It's very similar, only on a smaller scale. It's extremely noisy, as you can hear. It's a week of celebration. It's a week of dressing in red and white. Obviously, the crux of it is the bull run and the actual bull fighting. But in addition, there's an awful lot of carnival and fiesta. Finally, for those of you who are looking for some knobbly tyre action, here's a trip I did from England down to Turkey when I was a bachelor.